The book of Second Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 13. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakakradash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, teaching this truth in its entirety. Also, I would like to say peace and salutation to the hopeful elect and a shalom to the brothers that are on the highways and hedges making their bodies a living sacrifice. Shalom, Israel. All right, this one going to be a little different. This is more of a testimony instead of a lesson, more of a testimony of my time at the camp formerly known as Onebody and Yahweh Shai. All right, just jumping right into it. I ain't going to make this draw it out. But I remember when I first got to that camp, I joined that camp, I used to drive out to the school. At the time I was living like in Louisville, Texas. So I would drive out there to Dallas. Everything seemed cool at first. Everybody was all cool and cordial. It was a lot of us at the time. It was a lot of people, that was in the school, probably like 30 or 40 brothers, but I didn't know nobody. I was new to the truth. I didn't know no precepts or nothing. I had just been watching a lot of different camps. As many as camps as I can find on YouTube, I would watch them. But at that time, new to the faith, I didn't know it was a such thing as different doctrines. I didn't know different camps had different doctrines, things like that, whatnot. And they could tell that I was pretty much green, new to the truth, I should say. And, when you first get there, it's just almost like a military style thing, And after watching like other camps on YouTube, I never saw that. But when I got there to Onebody, sitting in the classes, they have a brother sitting on the right side of you, the left side of you, and they just watching you, and I know that's what they was doing, because after I had been in the camp for a year, anybody that come to the school that was new, they would be like, eyes up, eyes on that brother, keep eyes on that brother. We don't know what he about, and I would always think like, well, if these sheep, then why are we treating them like that? What if these brothers are, a part of the elect? But me being green and new to the truth, new to the faith, they took away, it's like they strip you of all the things that you kind of knew, about the elect, the 144,000, Jacob's trouble. Of course, Yahweh Shai didn't do any miracles. He didn't turn water into wine, and they would always say, oh, they gonna get in their feelings saying, we taking away all his miracles. And, they would just patch up all these precepts claiming that they proven that he didn't turn water into wine. And no matter what the leadership would say, you would have like 8 or 9, 10 brothers screaming, that's right, bring it out, loud as hell. And this was the normal. It just became normal. It always went like that. Moses didn't part the Red Sea, and they say he didn't part the Red Sea because if he parted the Red Sea, how did the Israelites drop all the way down to the ground to walk on the ground while the sea was parted? I mean, it was so many things like that. At the time, I went along with it because I didn't know no better, Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 3 and 4. That's not talking about a Christmas tree. They had this, we communicated through the messaging app called a Glide. And, they would be like, if a brother don't get in the Glide every day, he in sin. If he don't show his face in the Glide, he in sin, You had to go to the land after camp on a Sunday and work at the land. And if you couldn't make it, If they not telling you and seeing for that, you had to get them a reason why you can't come. They even want to know what days brothers was off of work. And then when you ask questions like, all right, what's up? What you need? You asking why I'm off work. Oh, that nothing. Leadership just needs to know what days brothers got to work and stuff like that. They would tell you that your family is wicked. If they ain't in the truth, and Christ gonna snap their neck. And the so-called Bishop Yepta, he would call our families wicked, but he had grown kids that we never seen, we never met. They never came to the school, But our families are wicked, And then like on Wednesdays, you know what? Let me back it up. My bad, Salakia. Go to camp on Saturdays. According to them, every Saturday is the Shabbat. Now I know better. Every Saturday is the Shabbat. If you were a so-called soldier, you had to be at the school at 8 o'clock in the morning. You there from 8 o'clock to probably about 12. That's when the class start. The class is like from 12, probably to about 2:30. After that, we have some lunch. And then we line up military style, marching, all this kind of stuff. And then we would go out to the highways and to the hedges. And we would be there out and about from 8 o'clock that morning all the way sometimes to like between 8, 9, 10, and sometimes at 11 o'clock, And then you had to be back up to be at the land by between 6, 7, and 8, depending on, how late we get out of camp. And like I said, if you can't make it to the camp, if you can't make it to the land, they need to know why you can't make it to the land. That's the Sunday. Then the Monday, they have a class at the school. After the class at the school, brothers got to clean up. And then Tuesday, they might have another class. Everybody had assignments, work security, or you might work the audio system. Things like that. Might have to straighten up the chairs and stuff like that. And Wednesday was Camp 101. Everybody had to come. And if you couldn't make it, they need to know why you can't make it. They need to know was you off work? Stuff like that, real petty things. But for those that were at Camp 101, we would start off reading from the book. They would have everybody line up, do the cadence, attention, all that stuff. And we would read from the book of Deuteronomy, starting at, read all the way through the book of Deuteronomy. And whoever mess up, you would have to do 10 push-ups. But the thing is that no matter who messed up, everybody had to do push-ups. One person messed up, everybody got to drop down and do push-ups. Rain, sleet, snow, like the military, And it was just like, at first, I'm thinking like that, hey, man, I'm serving the Lord. But it started getting very vexing to me, After Camp 101 with the marching, with the reading and doing push-ups, they would have us out there practicing marching, and you mess up, they get all in your grill like, y'all watching you. The nation is watching you. Y'all out there messing up. We got the whole nation out there watching us. Like, man, what scripture? What you know what I'm saying? What scripture is that, man? That we supposed to be out here marching, man? Those are the little things that just started kind of like going through my mind while I was, I'm 10 toes down, like they would say, but little things like that used to start just crossing my mind, like, and like I said in the beginning, it was like, almost like 35, 40 brothers at that school. So it was a large group of brothers at that school. And I never got a chance to really know everybody, you know. And brothers just started like leaving, you know. Um, one time it might be like 6 brothers leave. Then like it'd be another 5 brother leave. And then I remember one time like 12 or 13 brothers left all at the same time, and then a few numbers start trickling down, like one brother might leave, then two brothers might leave. And, I would ask like why they leave? What happened? Like, what's going on? And, they would like ask leadership, talk to leadership. Everything's so secretive, you know. And I would ask, and they would just tell me those brothers are in heavy sin. Cut them off. Cut off all communication with those brothers. They are in heavy sin, you know. And I'm here just trying to get built up in the truth. I'm trying to make it to the kingdom. So, I just, left it alone. It ain't like I really knew the brothers to follow up with them anyway. But I did always have questions on, like, why everybody leaving, But in the back of my mind, I'm like, we all in sin, We all in sin, you know? Then when it came to being out there on the highways and hedges, the soldiers, so-called soldiers, they would only let you, teach from, the curses. You could only teach from the curses, Anytime you veer away from the curses, they would come tap you on your shoulders. Hey, stay in the curses, Ark. Or they would just like get you off the mic or something like that. Or get you, stop you from teaching for a little while. They just only would let you teach from the curses. And like, it was just so much to the point where like, those were the only precepts I knew, curses. Deuteronomy chapter 28, starting at verse 15 through 68. And the names, one of the most important thing is the names of the Heavenly Father and the Son. I went in knowing Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, from watching GMS before I actually joined the camp, before I joined Onebody. But when I got there, they say, well, we don't know if that's really the way you really said, it's Giddish, so we don't use those terms over here. They say the Most High and His Son Yahweh Shai. But now, as of recently, now they drop Yahweh Shai and they use Christ, And I remember one time my wife went with me, my rib went with me. We had just had our daughter, and she went with me. She wanted to support me, wanted to support, my new faith, me learning that we the Israelites. I was just so dumbed down at the time, but she, that's my rib. She followed me. And she went into school with me one time. And after it was over, she went home. And we had a couple of discussions about it, not much. And come around the next Shabbat, I'm thinking she gonna go with me. And she told me, she was like, I don't ever want to go back to that place. And, I got upset, like, you don't want to ever go back, and she never went back. And I was so happy in the latter days of being at that school, like, that she never went back, man. And it was just like a tough pill I had to swallow, every Saturday, because, they say if you leave Onebody, you gonna go back into the world and Christ gonna snap your neck. And I remember the time when George Floyd had was choked out by that cop, and Jake was out here protesting kind of like all over the 50 states. And it was a big protest downtown Dallas. And, man, it was damn near a riot going on out there. They had us out there, tear gas, had us in this parking lot, screaming to the top of our lungs, reading precepts. Like, we was really going against the crowd that was the police was like trying to combat. Man, it was a crowd of almost like 300-400 people out there. We like almost going to war with these people. Like, we formed a circle so they couldn't breach the circle. We reaching out, screaming out precepts. I'm telling you, like, SWAT team members down there, it's literally tear gas, flying everywhere. Our eyes, we crying, our eyes crying, watery, not crying, but our eyes are very, like, watery, choking, stuff like that, man. I'm like, man, this getting to be too much, man. Like, I ain't signed up for this right here, And I would actually leave camp, get in my car, drive home, and listen to brothers from GMS, getting fed on my way from wasting hours and hours of my Saturday. Get in the car, and then I would like turn on, a couple of lessons from GMS, because those doctrines are like day and night, man. Like, it was just, I knew it was getting to the end, man. Like I said, I didn't want to make this too long, but we don't know if we are part of the elect, and I'm not saying that, but I am striving to be a part of the elect. But I will say this right here. I know that Yahweh Shai, he led me up out that place, because if he wouldn't have, I would have been destroyed, man. And I'm putting this testimony out there for any brother, or any believer that sincerely, seeking Yahweh Shai. If you in these camps or you in these schools, and they ain't for one teaching the true doctrine, teaching precepts of men, I advise you to get up out of there, get up out of there and save your own soul, I'm going to end it off on this precept coming from the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 4, starting at verse 1, and it reads, "Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils." Verse 2, "Speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron." I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakradash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, teaching his truth in his entirety. Also, I would like to say peace and salutation to the hopeful elect, and shalom to the brothers that are here on the highways and byways, making their bodies a living sacrifice. Shalom.